So, hello students, very warm welcome to this new session on decision making in Python. We have actually covered certain set of core concepts in Python, which are related to sequential coding, wherein we can write a code in a sequential manner and we try to program it. So if I declare a variable called a in the initial and I want to print the value of a, it is possible. But the reverse is not possible, that if I want to print a value called a before I declare it, then the interpreter will throw an error. Okay, this is known as sequential programming. We've done this. The second core concept that are part of any programming language is called the decision making or the branching. That means if I have a condition, say suppose if A is more than B, then do certain set of statements, execute certain set of statements, and if I have the reverse, that is if B is more than A, then do the other set of statements. So this type of thing is called, I have two branches now. Okay, I have two branches. One is corresponding to the condition that if the value of a is more than b, different set of statement will be executed, and when b is more than a, then the other set of statements should be executed. So all such cases will be taken care by the decision making concepts that are available in different programming languages. In this we are going to study about Python. So this model presents in Python presents how if-else statements and switch case statements are executed. So in simple terms, the Python is if the if statement selects the action to perform. It takes the form of an if test followed by one or more optionals else if. So in else if we write in Python is elif, elif. So elif stands for else if. In most of the other languages like C, C++, Java, you might have used else if word. So in Python you need to practice it writing it by elif. Okay, and finally we have an else block. So we will see how it actually looks, but let us understand the core way of writing it. So as I already explained you in my previous classes, that in Python we are very much concerned about the indentations, and we are also concerned about the punctuation marks. So in this case, you can see that I have a keyword called if followed by a test, or a test may be a condition, and that is followed by a colon marks. Okay. Now, if this test passes, if this is value is true, this is an relational operator. It will use a relational operator. So I have already explained in my previous video on operators that the relational operator generally gives you a true or a false, right? The value is true or false. So if a is more than b, the more than sign is called relational operator, and the relational operator actually decides whether a is more than b or a is less than b. In case a is more than b, this a more than b condition will return a value called true. So true is represented by 1 and false is represented by 0. So if the condition within the if is 1, then statement 1 will be executed. Okay. Otherwise, the control will switch to the elif part. Okay, the control will switch to the elif part, and then because the elif has an if condition within it, so it also has a condition, right? So I will check another condition here. If this test2 condition is true, then statement 2 should be executed, and if these two conditions are false, by default the else part will execute. So this is the basic syntax of the if, elif and else part. We will see one by one how we are going to work with these three statements. So Python if statement is used for decision making operations. It contains a body of code which runs only when the condition given in the if statement is true. If the condition is false, then the optional else statement runs, which contains some code for the else condition. So it says that I have an if condition, I have a if keyword, then I have an expression followed by a colon mark. If this is the syntax, so let me write one code for you here. So if I write a code, say if I create A is equal to 5 and I have B is equal to 7. Suppose this is the value that I have used. Now what I'm doing is I'm writing if, you see the color of the keyword changes to a different one. And in bracket I will write A more than B, okay, and followed by colon. Then whenever I press an enter, if I have a colon, the indentation comes in. Okay, now the cursor blinks at a particular after leaving certain space. This is called indentation. So if I don't put a colon here and I press enter, the cursor blinks and the starting of the if. So you must understand that if you put a right indentation, the system should work. So if A is more than B, I want to print, suppose I want to print that A is more than B. So this is what I want to print. Now I have to come back manually and I have to write else again have a colon. It says that print what you want to print. What is, if A is more than B is not true, the control should come to else part, and the if I'm coming to else part, that means B is more than A. So I will print here B is more than A. Okay. Now what I need to, what I will do one thing here. I will take int input, enter the value of A. I will ask the user to enter the value of A, and let me copy this and paste it here, and instead of A let me make it B. So this is a small program which actually executes, and it will ask user to enter a value of A. Then once he enters the value of A, the system will ask to enter a value called B. After these two values are entered by the user, then the system will make the use of if A is more than B, it will print A is more than B. If the value of A is less than B, then it will print B is more than A. Okay, this is what it should work. So let us run this particular thing, and okay, you saw that enter the value of A. Suppose I enter the value of A equal 5. Okay, I enter the value of A as 5, and now I press enter. It asks me a value of B, so I enter B equals 7, right? Then when I enter the value of B, the system, the rest of the code, the way as you can see here, that is A more than B, will execute. Okay, or the else part will execute. In this case, the else part will execute. Why? Because the value of B is more than A. The system will say B is more than A. Okay, now I will run this code once more to validate something. Okay, running this code once more. So now I enter the value of A is 7 and I have entered the value of B is 5. Then it say A is more than B. That is the true. A value is more than B. But you will see one thing. When I run it to the third time, what happens is I will give you a value. I will give a value now. I will say A is more than A is 5 and B is 5. Okay. Now in this case, what will happen when the system goes with it takes value of A is 5 and it takes the value of B is 5, it goes into the if statement first. It says 5 more than 5. The system turns out to be false. The condition turns out to be false. Okay. Whenever the if condition is false and you have only an else part, what it will do, it will switch to else part, and what it will do, because else doesn't have a condition, it will go and print B is more than A. Okay. But actually B is not more than A, B is equal to A. Okay, so I'm not having that condition itself to check the equality. Either I will make it here A is equal to B, then in that case also the statement is wrong. If A is more than or equal to B, then A is more than B. No, I cannot say, because A is more than B, then only I can write A is more than B. But if I have this condition, then how should I incorporate whether a new condition, new condition for equality as well. So what I will do here is we have to change certain concepts. Okay, this is how it happens. So now in this part you understand, if you want to initialize a variable xy, you can initialize it by this: x comma y is equal to 2 comma 8. It says that the first value 2 goes to x and the second value 8 goes to y. So it says that if x has a value 2 and y has a value 8, if x is less than y, statement is equal to x is less than y. So the statement will be, now this is a general algorithm, so it's not have a keyword called print or a function called print. You can add being print is equal to x is less than y and y is more than x, something like this. You will do this. Now the else condition, we have executed something like this: x and y are defined, we have used x, if and else part. Now the third thing is, what we do is we will use a condition like this. We are stuck at a condition like this when x and y are both equal. So in this case it will print x is greater than y, which is wrong. They are both equal. So we will use we will now make use of an else if condition. How it will make, let me understand now. I'll teach you this and then we will execute as well. So if we define x as 8 and y as 8, then if we say if x is less than y, that means 8 is less than 8, that is false. So this if condition won't execute. Okay, the system should jump to else if condition. The else if condition says if x is equal to y, that means if the value of x is equal to y, the system should return true. So in this case this will return true and it will say x is same as y, right? And else part says if these two conditions are not true, if x is not less than y and x is not equal to y, that means the x should be more than y. This is what is written here. So now every time what happens, it will store a string into a variable, and once I'm done I will print that string. This is how it happens. It is written here. Now the best thing is, if I use if, else if and else, only one of the condition will be executed at one time. If this is, it is found true, none of the two else if or else will be executed. If else if is found true, the else condition won't execute. If else is found true, that means the upper two conditions has never been found true. This is how it happens. Okay, so now let us create the same program. So what I will do, I will add another code here. The code will be elif. Okay, now you cannot place a condition after an else part. This is for sure. Okay, this is a rule that you should follow. No condition after an else, but if should always have a condition. Likewise, this condition if has two words, else and if, right? But the last word that is ending it is if. So we will put a condition, say a is equal to b. Okay, if value of a is equal to b, then I will print a is equal to b. Okay, this is what I will print. I will save it. Now I run this code again. And I will get one value here. So if I enter now 5 and now 5, okay, you are not able to see it. Okay. Oh, let me start this. If I enter these two, then the system should give me the same thing. Okay. I believe you can see now. So the thing is, if I enter a value, now if I run this code again, now I will running it again. I'm running it again. So if I enter a value called 5 and I enter a value called 5, the system will actually run a is equal to b. So this condition hits now. Right? This is what it is actually reading. Once it reads this, it will not read the if part, it will not read the else part. No, it will just print this, come out of that particular scenario. You can also do something like this, which is given in that PDF. It says that you can store it in a string. You can store it in a string st, and because you're storing a string, you can you once only your string will be executed. Okay, one of the st variable will be populated. The st variable will be populated only once. Either it will be populated in the if part, or it will be populated in the else if part, or it will be populated in the else part. So once it is populated properly, you can use print st to print the value of the variable st. Okay, so whatever is the case, you run this program. It says value of a is say 6 and value of b is say 11. You will get a value called b is more than a. So st has the value called b is more than a. B is more than a is the part, and it will print the st value. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear now. uh, Now, nested if-else condition actually means that if statement can be also checked inside another if statement. This conditional statement is called a nested if statement. This means that the inner if condition will be checked only if the outer if condition is true. By this, we will see multiple conditions to be satisfied. So, let us write another program here. In this, I will make use C is equal to int input, enter the value. Now what I want to do is, if I check if a is more than b, then I will check if a is more than c, then I will print a is the greatest. Now if this is not the case, then I will check else if if b is more than c. Okay, if a is not more than b, so b is more than c, so you do something else. Okay, you you print something else. Okay, print otherwise. Okay, this is what we want to print. Suppose we are doing this, so we have nested if in this case. So how it will run? So it will take two values, but a will be greatest only when value of a should be more than b and c both. Okay, uh, now run this. Okay, if I run this, if I have a value of a as 5, b as 7, and c is 11. Okay, so c is more than 5. uh, so the first condition won't be true. It will print. How it happens, tell me? B is not more than c. Okay, and a is not more than b, so nothing happens. Nothing happened in this code. Okay, so if I put an else condition here, else print, I say goodbye. Okay, now if I enter the same value, it should print. Okay, now if I enter the same value here, if I enter 5, 7, 11. So the first condition says a is more than b, so a is not more than b. So if condition was false, so it won't read in the next statement, that is a more than c also. So the control will jump to else if part. Else if part says if b is more than c. Now in b is 7 and c is 11, so this condition is also false, so it won't execute the statement within the else if part. So it will go into the else part. Now it will say goodbye, so it will say goodbye. Okay, this is how it happens. So if I want to execute the first statement, a is the greatest, So what I need to do is I have to reverse this. I need to reverse this. So I make it A is 11, B is 7, and C is 5. Okay. So in that case, the first statement becomes true. It says that A is more than B. So A is 11 and B is 7. So this is true. It comes inside. It says if is A is more than C, A is 11 and C is 5. Again, it's true. It's come back and prints the A is greatest. Now we will check one more condition here, in which we will go inside a if the statement, but we won't print A is greatest. Okay, so we will what we will do, we will put the value of A as 11. We will put the value of B as 7, but we will put the value of C as 9. Okay, now when A is 11 and B is 7, the condition becomes true. The system will go into the first if statement, and it will go into check. Now we're going to check with whether A is more than C. Now I will put it 12, suppose. Okay, whether A is more than C. Now A is 11 and C is 12. In this case also there will nothing will printed. Okay, so the thing is, it will always print based on these conditions. So use if we use if within an if to print certain values, these two ifs are known as nested if. Okay, I can also use here the else part. Else print A is not the greatest, suppose. Okay, so if I do this and if I run with the same code, what it will say here is, it will run A is 11, B is 7, and C is 12. So it will say A is not the greatest. Okay. I hope you understand. Okay, let me adjust this for you. Whenever I will execute, I will be. Now you can see all these things as well, and the content as well. Okay, now this was all about the if else and nested if else. So it has a condition here. So if we say num is 10, if num is more than 5, bigger than 5, if num is less than 15, we're going to between 5 and 15. Okay, it will, because num was 10, it is more than 5 true, is less than equal to 15 true. So both is up, both the things are printed. Now there is another, but you should understand that if else is a two-way branching statement. Two-way branching means, two-way branching stands for that means that you can only have, for an if condition you have two paths, either true or false. Even when you have if can also have only two paths. Okay, now the switch statement actually have is a multi-path statement. Okay, with one condition, one value, you can jump to n number of values. So a switch statement is a multi-way branch statement that compares a value of a variable to the values specified in a case statement. The Python language does not have a switch statement. Python uses dictionary mapping to implement switch case Python. The key of the dictionary is, so generally we actually implement we don't we will when we will study, we can use a dictionary statement like function argument. So you need to know what is function. So as of now we are not defining it, we're not teaching you how to write a function, how to write a switch statement, but there's another method where we can use to define, to use a switch. We will use a word called match. Okay, match, and we will have a value. Now this argument is the value, this argument is the value. The value can be 0, 1, 2. Okay, so if the value is 0, the system will land up, this case will match, it will return true, and it will print 0, right? If the argument value is 1, the system will match this, it will return 1. If the value is 2, then the value will be printed return as 2. And if the value is not between 0, 1 and 2, it's minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, 10, 3, 5, the system says something. Okay, now what it happens here is because we are making use of a variable called def is not, you haven't studied this, so we will teach you switch statement without what you can say, without the use of a def. Suppose this is day, okay, day number means now the user will enter a value of a day, okay, and the user can enter a value between 0 to 7, 0 to 7, okay, 1 to 7, 1 to 7. That means 1 corresponds to Monday, in which 1 corresponds to Monday. 2, if I enter 2, it will print Tuesday. If we print 3, it should print Wednesday. If we print 4, the system should enter Thursday. If we enter 5, the system should enter Friday. It should print Friday. If we enter 6, the system should print Saturday. If we print 7, the system should print Sunday. For all other cases, for all other values, the system should say invalid data. Okay, this is what it needs to print. So what we do is we will read the value of day and we use the keyword called match day. Okay, match and the value called day num. Day num is the value. Okay, now when we hit enter, the system comes back with an indentation value. Now we will use a keyword called case and I say 1. Okay, now when the value of the day is 1, what I need to print what? Monday. Okay, print Monday. This is what should print. Okay, when the value of the case is 2, the system should print Tuesday. Okay, likewise, let me copy all this, the one case, and I will paste it so it's easier for us to. Okay, so this is 3, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, and this is default. Okay, print what should I print? I should print invalid data. Okay, and the 7 is Sunday, this is Saturday, this is Friday, this is Thursday, and this is Wednesday. Okay, now what happened here is we transformed we write a code wherein we passed a data value. Within data value there are 7 different values. Okay, so if I run this code now and it says invalid syntax. Okay, I left this. Okay, let me run this. It executed, it will ask me to enter a value of day and a value of day. So if I enter say 5, the system should print Friday. Okay, the system prints Friday. That means hit it only the 5th part, print the value of the Friday, and it come back to this. Now if I once again run this code, and the code will be the code, suppose I run the code and I executed the code as 9, because 9 is not in 1 to 7 range, so it will say invalid data. Okay, so this is how we actually transformed a particular single value to multiple values. Okay, now the last operator is called ternary expression, if else ternary expressions. In one line of code you can actually find out whether a value is true or false. So in that case what we will do here is we will try to read two values. Suppose a was 7 and b was 5. So we will say message, or we will say c is equal to what I want to write here, I want to write print A is great, A is more than B if uh, if A is more than B, else print B is more than A. Okay. So what I do, I write this in single statement. Okay. So now my value of A is 7. So what it actually do is whenever it sees something like this, it executes A more than B first. Okay, this is the first starting point. It says if A is more than B, if this is true, all the statement to the left should execute. And this is false, the statement to the right of this should execute. In this case, value of A is more than B, that means this turns out to true. The true condition is this. So they, in the left side we write the true condition and the false condition is written at the after the else part. Okay. So if I run this statement, it should print A is more than B. It says A is more than B. Okay, why? Because the value of A was more than B. So if I enter here value of B is 9 and I again execute this, the system should print B is more than A. Okay. So I hope you understand the ternary operator as well. Uh, Indentation rules are clear now that we will. You have certain practice problems here, like a student will not be allowed to sit an exam if his or her attendance is less than 75%. Take following input of the user, like number of classes held, number of classes attended, and then print the percentage of class attended. You can divide into print whether student is allowed and not allowed. We will take the total attendance and find out what is the, if it is more than 75%, he or she should allowed. It is less than 75%, it should not be allowed. Okay, more than equal to is allowed, less than 75 is not allowed. Okay. uh, Write a program to check whether a year is a leap year or not. You need to understand that in any year, if it is divided by 400, it's a leap year. If it is divided by just by 4 and not by 100, then it is a leap year. If it is divided by 4 and it is divided by 400 as well, 100 as it is not a leap year. So we put all these conditions in this one program. Okay. Last program is about reversing a five-digit number. You can read these programs easily. You can just practice them out. And if you have any issues, do post in the comments and reach us out. We will try to create more videos explaining each one of the programs. Thank you very much.